Have you ever reached a point in your life where you realized, no one was coming to save you? Where the phone stayed silent. The support you expected never arrived. And the people you once leaned on slowly disappeared. In that moment, you don't just feel lonely. You feel forgotten. Invisible. Almost betrayed by life itself. But according to Carl Jung, this moment is not the beginning of your downfall. It is the beginning of your transformation. Jung believed that the most powerful growth happens when a person is forced to stand alone. Not because life is cruel, but because the soul matures through solitude. When everything external is stripped away, you finally meet your true self. And most people spend their entire lives avoiding this encounter. They distract themselves with relationships, noise, validation, and constant activity. But when those things disappear, something far more important appears: inner strength. There is a painful truth most of us don't want to accept. As adults, no one is responsible for our happiness, healing, or success. We hope someone will guide us, support us, or rescue us when things get hard. But life rarely works that way. And Jung saw this clearly. He said that dependence keeps the soul weak. Independence awakens power. When you have no one to rely on, you begin relying on something deeper. Your intuition sharpens. Your mind becomes stronger. Your emotional resilience grows. You start listening to your inner voice instead of external opinions. And slowly, you stop asking, "Who will help me?" and start asking, "What am I capable of?" This shift changes everything. Many people collapse when they feel alone. They sink into self-pity, fear, and hopelessness. But Jung taught that loneliness is actually an invitation to discover your hidden potential. The same pain that breaks some people builds others. Think about it. When everything is comfortable, when support is guaranteed, when someone always fixes your problems, you don't grow. You stay the same. But when life pushes you into the corner, when you have no option but to move forward alone, that is when your real strength is forged. Jung referred to this process as individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. Not the version shaped by society, family expectations, or fear. But the authentic you. And this journey almost always begins in isolation. Not physical isolation necessarily, but emotional independence. The moment you stop waiting for permission, approval, or help. The moment you accept full responsibility for your life. This is when you start getting ahead. One of the hardest lessons Jung taught was that people often abandon you not because you are unworthy, but because your growth requires solitude. Life removes distractions so you can focus on your purpose. Sometimes the relationship ends. Sometimes friends drift away. Sometimes support systems collapse. And it feels unfair. But beneath the pain, there is wisdom at work. You are being prepared for something greater. When no one is there for you, you learn discipline. You wake up even when you don't feel like it. You keep going even when motivation is gone. You push forward even when fear is loud. And this builds something far more powerful than talent: it builds character. Character is what carries you when circumstances don't. Jung understood that the mind contains both light and shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves we avoid: fear, insecurity, anger, weakness, doubt. When you are surrounded by people, it's easy to hide these parts. But when you are alone, you are forced to confront them. And that confrontation is not comfortable. But it is necessary. Because inside those shadows lies your untapped power. Most people run from their shadow. They numb themselves with entertainment, social media, addictions, or constant social interaction. But those who face it, those who sit with their pain, their fear, their loneliness, they emerge stronger, wiser, and more focused. This is why some of the most successful and spiritually awakened people went through periods of deep isolation. Not because they were unlucky, but because they were being shaped. When you walk this path alone, you stop wasting energy trying to impress people who don't matter. You stop chasing approval. You stop living according to other people's expectations. Instead, you begin building your life from the inside out. Your goals become clearer. Your priorities shift. Your mind becomes sharper. You no longer fear rejection, because you've already survived abandonment. You no longer fear failure, because you've already endured loneliness. This is emotional strength. Jung believed that suffering is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to transform you. The pain of being alone forces you to evolve. It strips away illusions. It reveals what truly matters. And once you've walked through that fire, you are never the same again. You become calm under pressure. You trust yourself more. You stop panicking when things go wrong. You develop an inner stability that no external chaos can shake. This is how you get ahead when no one is there for you. Not by waiting. Not by hoping. But by growing. Another powerful idea Jung shared was that the unconscious mind holds immense wisdom. When life becomes quiet, when distractions disappear, you finally hear it. In silence, clarity comes. In solitude, creativity awakens. In struggle, purpose reveals itself. Have you noticed how some of your deepest realizations came during your hardest moments? When you were alone. When you were hurting. When you were questioning everything. That wasn't weakness. That was awakening. This is when your mind begins to reorganize itself for growth. Jung believed that crisis often precedes breakthrough. And loneliness is one of the greatest catalysts for change. When you stop relying on others emotionally, you become self-sufficient mentally. And mental self-sufficiency is the foundation of success. It allows you to make decisions without fear. To take risks without needing approval. To pursue your path even when no one understands it. Most people never reach their full potential because they are too afraid of being alone. They stay in unhealthy relationships. They stay in jobs they hate. They stay in environments that limit them. All because they fear solitude. But Jung saw solitude as sacred. It is the space where the soul grows. When you are forced to walk alone, you become your own guide. Your own support system. Your own source of strength. And something incredible happens. You start attracting opportunities instead of chasing people. You start commanding respect instead of seeking validation. You start moving forward with confidence instead of doubt. Because you are no longer dependent. You are grounded. This is what it truly means to get ahead. Not by stepping on others. Not by manipulating situations. Once you begin accepting solitude but by instead of fighting yourself, something profound starts to happen inside you. The loneliness that once felt heavy slowly turns into clarity. The silence that once felt painful becomes peaceful. And the struggle that once felt unfair begins to feel meaningful. Carl Jung believed that when the external world quiets down, the inner world finally speaks. This is when true growth begins. In these moments alone, you start noticing your thoughts more clearly. You become aware of the patterns that have been holding you back for years. The fears that silently controlled your decisions. The habits that kept you stuck in the same place. The excuses you made for not becoming your best self. When no one is there to distract you, there is nowhere to hide from yourself. And this is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to heal you. Jung said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In solitude, the unconscious begins to rise to the surface. You start understanding why you react the way you do. Why certain situations trigger you. Why you keep repeating the same cycles in relationships and life. This awareness is power. Because once you see the patterns, you can change them. When no one is there for you, you stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. You realize that waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect person, or the perfect opportunity is only delaying your growth. You understand that progress happens through action, even when you feel scared, unsure, or tired. This is where mental toughness is built. Not in comfort, but in discomfort. Every time you push yourself forward without support, your confidence grows. Not the loud kind of confidence that needs attention, but the quiet kind that knows it can handle anything. Jung believed that people who have walked through darkness alone develop a depth that others don't. They become emotionally intelligent. They understand pain. They develop compassion. And they gain a wisdom that can't be taught in books. This depth is what makes you strong in the long run. It allows you to stay calm when others panic. To think clearly when others are overwhelmed. To move forward when others give up. And this is one of the biggest advantages you gain when you have no one to rely on. Another powerful transformation that happens is that you stop seeking validation. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to shape yourself to fit their expectations. You say what they want to hear. You act in ways that get approval. You make choices based on how others will react. But when you walk alone, those voices slowly fade. You begin asking yourself important questions. What do I truly want? What kind of life feels meaningful to me? What values do I want to live by? Jung believed that most people live according to a persona, a mask they wear to fit into society. But true fulfillment comes when you remove the mask and live authentically. Solitude strips away the persona. It forces you to face who you really are. And when you build your life from that authentic place, success becomes more satisfying and sustainable. You are no longer chasing goals to impress others. You are building a life that aligns with your soul. This alignment creates inner peace. And inner peace creates focus. With focus, you become unstoppable. Another lesson Jung emphasized was that suffering often carries hidden meaning. The times when you feel abandoned or unsupported are often the times when you are being prepared for independence. Think about a muscle. It grows when it's challenged, not when it's comfortable. The mind works the same way. When life becomes difficult, your mental strength increases. When you are forced to solve problems alone, your intelligence sharpens. When you overcome fear by yourself, your courage multiplies. This is psychological growth. And this is how you rise above average. Most people want success without struggle. They want growth without discomfort. But Jung knew that transformation always requires challenge. The butterfly struggles to leave the cocoon. If someone opens it too early, the butterfly never becomes strong enough to fly. Your struggles serve the same purpose. They strengthen you. They prepare you. They shape you. When no one is there for you, you learn resourcefulness. You find solutions instead of excuses. You adapt instead of complaining. You keep moving instead of quitting. And these qualities are what lead to long-term success. Another important shift happens in your relationships. When you become emotionally independent, you stop tolerating disrespect. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You start choosing people who bring peace instead of chaos. Jung believed that as you grow psychologically, your environment must change to match your new level of consciousness. Some people will naturally drift away. Others will come into your life unexpectedly. And this is not loss. It is alignment. You begin surrounding yourself with individuals who respect your boundaries, support your growth, and share similar values. Your relationships become healthier. Your conversations become deeper. Your life becomes calmer. This is the reward of inner work. You also start trusting your instincts more. When you rely less on external advice and more on your inner wisdom, decision-making becomes easier. You feel more confident in choosing your path. Jung believed that intuition is the voice of the unconscious mind guiding you toward your true purpose. And solitude strengthens this voice. You become more aware of opportunities. You sense when something is right or wrong. You move with clarity instead of confusion. This is a powerful advantage in life. People who trust their intuition often make bold moves that lead to breakthroughs. They start businesses. They change careers. They pursue dreams others are afraid of. And while others hesitate, they move forward. This courage is born in solitude. Another benefit of having no one to rely on is that you develop self-discipline. You learn to motivate yourself when no one is cheering. You learn to work hard when no one is watching. You learn to stay consistent even when results are slow. Jung understood that self-discipline is the bridge between potential and achievement. Talent without discipline fades. But discipline builds greatness. When you rely on yourself, you naturally develop routines that support your goals. You become organized. You manage your time better. You focus on what truly matters. These habits compound over time and create massive progress. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. Not through luck, but through persistence. Through inner strength. Through self-mastery. And all of this begins when you stop depending on others and start building yourself. As you continue walking this path of inner strength and self-reliance, you begin to understand something very important: life will always have challenges, even after you grow stronger. The difference is no longer whether problems appear, but how you respond to them. Carl Jung believed that once a person becomes conscious of their inner power, setbacks no longer break them. Instead, they shape them into something greater. You start seeing difficulties as lessons rather than punishments. When something goes wrong, you no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" You ask, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective is powerful. Because the moment you look for meaning instead of suffering, you regain control over your life. Jung taught that every experience, even painful ones, carries psychological growth within it. The key is awareness. And now that you've built inner strength through solitude, awareness becomes your greatest tool. When you fail, you reflect. When you struggle, you adapt. When you feel lost, you realign. This is how strong people move forward while others stay stuck. Another deep change that happens is emotional balance. You no longer let small things disturb your peace. You don't overreact to criticism. You don't crumble when things don't go your way. This is because you've already faced bigger emotional storms alone. Your nervous system becomes calmer. Your thoughts become clearer. Your emotions become more stable. Jung believed emotional maturity is one of the highest forms of intelligence. It allows you to handle pressure gracefully. It allows you to stay focused during chaos. It allows you to move steadily toward your goals. And this emotional strength is built when you stop relying on others for comfort and learn to comfort yourself. Another powerful realization is that your worth no longer depends on external success. You begin valuing growth over comparison. You stop measuring yourself against others. You focus on your own journey. Jung warned that constant comparison destroys individuality. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's timing is unique. When you embrace this, stress reduces. Confidence increases. Peace settles in. You stop rushing. You stop doubting. You trust your process. And trust is essential for long-term success. People who constantly seek reassurance rarely reach their full potential. But those who trust themselves move boldly forward. This is why independence is so powerful. You also become more patient. When you've walked alone, you understand that progress takes time. You stop expecting overnight success. You appreciate small wins. You stay consistent. Jung believed patience is the quiet strength behind every great achievement. Nothing meaningful happens instantly. Everything valuable is built slowly. And solitude teaches you this beautifully. Because when no one is there to praise you, you learn to celebrate your own progress. When no one notices your effort, you continue anyway. This builds resilience. And resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. Another transformation is that you begin living with purpose instead of pressure. You're no longer chasing goals because society says you should. You're pursuing what feels aligned with your soul. Jung believed that a life without meaning leads to emptiness, even if it's successful. But a life with purpose feels fulfilling even during struggles. When you connect with your inner purpose, motivation becomes natural. You don't need constant inspiration. You wake up driven. You feel excited about your path. You move forward with intention. And this inner drive is far stronger than external motivation. This is how people create extraordinary lives. Not by forcing success, but by aligning with purpose. As you grow stronger internally, something else amazing happens. Opportunities begin appearing. Not because you chase them desperately, but because your energy changes. Your confidence attracts. Your focus creates results. Your discipline opens doors. Jung believed that when the inner world changes, the outer world follows. Your mindset shapes your reality. When you believe in yourself, you act differently. When you act differently, outcomes change. When outcomes change, your life transforms. This is the psychological law of growth. You'll notice people treating you with more respect. You'll notice better chances coming your way. You'll notice new paths opening. And all of this is a reflection of the strength you built within. But even with success, Jung reminded us to stay humble and self-aware. Growth is a continuous process. There will always be new lessons, new challenges, new levels. And that's okay. Because now you're equipped to handle them. You no longer fear being alone. You see it as a source of strength. You no longer fear hardship. You see it as a stepping stone. You no longer doubt yourself. You trust your journey. This mindset creates unstoppable momentum. One of the most beautiful outcomes of this journey is inner peace. Not the temporary happiness that depends on circumstances, but deep peace that remains steady through ups and downs. Jung believed true peace comes from self-acceptance. When you accept your strengths and weaknesses. When you embrace your past and learn from it. When you stop fighting who you are and start growing into who you're meant to be. This peace allows you to live fully. To enjoy simple moments. To appreciate life. To feel grateful. And gratitude attracts more abundance. Your life becomes richer, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the greatest realization of all is this. You never truly needed anyone to save you. You were always capable of rising on your own. The loneliness didn't break you. It built you. The struggle didn't stop you. It strengthened you. The silence didn't empty you. It awakened you. Carl Jung's wisdom teaches us that within every human being lies incredible power. Most people never discover it because they're too afraid to stand alone. But those who do, those who walk through solitude, those who face themselves, those who keep moving forward without support, they become unstoppable. They create meaningful lives. They achieve greatness. Not because life was easy, but because they became strong. So if you're in a season where you feel alone, if you feel like no one understands you, if you feel unsupported, remember this. This is not your downfall. This is your preparation. This is the moment where your true strength is being built. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Keep moving forward. Because one day, you'll look back and realize. Walking alone was the best thing that ever happened to you. If you're going through a season where you feel alone, remember, this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your strength. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that solitude doesn't weaken you, it awakens the power already inside you. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more deep psychological and spiritual insights. Share this with someone who needs encouragement today. Your journey is just getting started.